Hello there and welcome. This is Farm Life, and today I want to do something very important, something quite significant to the growth of every farm. And we have been doing it, by the way, and I just decided to share it with you on a video so that you can learn why it must be done and how it should be done. I'm talking about taking and monitoring the weight of your birds. So on today's video, I want to share with you not why you should, but why you must take the weight of your birds and how you should have it done so that you have numbers accurately. I'm going to share a few things around weight monitoring, why it should be done, as I earlier mentioned, and how it should be done so that the results and the statistics that you get to have are very accurate. Again, this is Farm Life, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so that you get notified each time we drop a new video. This is Farm Life. So what we need to understand first before taking weight is that different breeds of birds supplied by different species of birds, they have different ways in which they grow, and they have different expectations completely. So the way an Isa brown bird like mine is going to grow is not the same way maybe a Lawman brown or a Highland brown or any other breed is going to grow. So one of the things that you must have for you to know that you're actually making progress is that you must know the breed that you are dealing with and make sure that the weight progression sheet that you are using, you actually get it from the company that produces this breed. For example, my birds are Isa brown breeds, so I will not go and pick out any weight progression sheet out there and I'm going to be using. So to the video description side of this video, I'm going to leave a link to a Google Drive file that we are using that has the expected weight of the bird as the weeks keep going by, and even the feed intake and all of that. You must make sure that what you are using to assess feed intake is gotten from the website or from the company that actually hatches these birds. Like I said earlier, our birds are of the Isa brown breed, and the data sheet I use for their feeding and to monitor their weight is all from the Isa brown company. Now, what do I have here? The first thing I have here that I'll be using is my biro. I have here with me a pen. I also have here with me a book where I'll record the weight, because there are approximately 500 birds inside of this pen house, and we cannot weigh all of these birds now. So we'll just pick a sample size and we'll weigh it, and we are going to generalize the result. So here with me, I have my biro, I have my notebook, I also have I have these scales. They are kitchen scales. We use them to weigh vitamins and any medication that we have to use. So I'll also be using them today to weigh these birds on. I'll just use one, we don't need the two. And I also have with me here a small drinker. The reason I'm using this is just so that I'll put this on top of the scale, and because I don't want the birds to stress me, I don't want them to be flying around, I don't want them to be running up and down when I want to weigh them. I'll just drop it here, and I can drop it here and cover it with my hand, and I get the accuracy of the weight. So these are the things I'll be using. Again, I'll be using this drinker, I'll be using a scale. Let me not show you two scales, no, I'll be using one. I'll be using a scale, I'll be using my notebook to record, and my pen to record. Why is it very important for us to get the weight of our birds monitored? So the first reason why monitoring the weight of your birds is very important is that it helps you to monitor the growth rate, and when we weigh birds regularly, it helps the farmer to monitor the growth rate of the birds to ensure that the birds are meeting the breed weight target. You see, at every point in time, there's a particular target that the Isa brown company expects that at week 10 their birds should reach. If I am using the feeding schedule they are giving me, if I'm feeding the birds the way they want me to feed the birds, then at week 10 there's a particular weight target, there's a particular range of weight that the birds should reach. So if I week 10 I weigh my birds and I discover that I'm not meeting the weight target, it simply means that I'm either underfeeding my birds, I'm feeding them with food that is not as rich as it should be. So I'll leave a link down at the video description area. If you are not dealing with the Isa brown, whatever breed you're dealing with, go there and know how the birds are supposed to perform. So that's the first reason why you must weigh your birds, to make sure that you are meeting the breed or the weight target that has been given to you by the breeder. So that is that. And the second reason why you must weigh your birds is because weighing your birds is one of the easiest methods to use in predicting, even though my birds have not reached laying stage, but it helps you, if your birds are approaching laying stage, it helps you to predict if they are going to lay in the next 2 days, the next 3 days, for the next 1 week. It helps you to do that, because weight is one of those criteria that a bird must reach that required weight threshold before it's able to lay an egg. So even if your birds are at week 18 and they have not reached the week target for week 18 as given to you by the supplier or by the breeding company, if at week 18 the birds have not reached the weight target, they will not lay the eggs. If at week 19 they have still not reached the weight target that they were supposed to reach, they will still not lay the eggs. Even at week 21, if they have not reached the weight target, they are still not going to lay eggs. So weighing your birds helps you to monitor the weight, and it helps you to easily predict and know when to expect your first eggs. The third reason why weighing your birds is very, very important: weighing birds helps us to identify nutritional issues. You see, if your birds are underweight, it shows that there's a problem. If they're overweight, it's also a problem. But weighing your birds helps you to be sure that you don't have any issues with nutrition. So if the birds are overweighted, it's a problem. If they are underweighted, it's a problem. That's why you must weigh them periodically. For example, while I'll be weighing these birds today, come here. While I'll be weighing the birds today, we are going to observe and see whether my weight is as it should be, or my birds are underweighted, or my birds are overweight. So we'll look at the average weight that a bird should have at the current stage where these birds are, and I'll look at what has been given to me by my breeder, and we're going to compare it to be sure, or to see whether my birds are within target. But I can tell you my birds are right within target. All right, you can go. The fourth reason why it's very, very important that you get to weigh your birds is that weighing your birds will help you detect issues with the health of the birds. If your birds are sick, or if they have a parasitic infection, if they are not fine, of course you know that the weight is going to go down. So if you pick up your birds and you put them on the scale and you discover that the weight is far less than what it should be, it can be an indicator that the birds are sick. It could be that they don't feed well. It could be that they are also sick. It could be that you are giving them the wrong feed, or you are giving them feed that has been wrongly or poorly mixed. So how you know that your birds have an underlying health issue is that weigh them. Make sure that the weight that they have matches with the weight that is given to you by your breeder. Another reason why it's important to weigh your birds is to ensure that there's uniformity. So when you weigh your birds, you get to see those birds whose weight are far below the minimum. Those birds that suffer from discrimination, maybe when feeding is going on, they are always pushed aside and all of that. That's one of the reasons why you must make sure that you have sufficient feeders in your chicken house, because if feeders are not sufficient, there'll be a lot of discrimination. And when there's discrimination, those that are underweighted, you give them maybe special feeding privileges to make sure that they catch up, to make sure that they feed and they meet the weighing standards. So put all of these factors together, you agree with me that weighing your birds is something that you cannot overlook. Always make sure that from time to time, maybe after every month, at times I weigh my birds weekly. Every week I get to weigh to just be sure, but you can do it on a monthly basis. The first month you weigh, the second month you weigh, but doing it on a weekly basis makes it more easier for you to correct mistakes with maybe nutrition or anything before it produces a very, very devastating effect on your flock. So how do we do this? I earlier showed you the things I'll be using. Again, I'll be using my biro and my notebook. I'll be using my kitchen scale, and I'll be using this small drinker, so that I'll put the birds there to make sure that they are stable. So let's get to the practicality of that. I'll have my scale here. There's no food here. Until when I start picking them and putting on the scale, everybody's going to run away. Okay, and then I'll have this on top of here. But before putting this on top of there, I want to put on my scale. This scale has this scale weighs in grams and in oz. I think oz should be pounds or so, whatever it is. So I'm going to put this bucket here, and this bucket alone gives me 98 grams, and I'm going to press the tar button. And I press the tar button, it goes back to 0. And what we are going to do is that we are going to take the birds from different angles of this hall. I'm not going to pick birds at a particular angle, just to make sure that I take birds of every kind of group. Those that, if at all there's anybody, those that suffer from discrimination, if at all, but I don't think there's anybody like that. But we are going to pick birds from different angles. I'll pick from those around me. We are going to sample weight for 30 birds here. There are 500 birds here, so we are going to sample weights for 30 to 50, just any number, but let it be above 20. So I'm going to be doing the weighing, and Blazer is right with me on the farm. He's on the camera. He's going to be taking down the records. So for every bird that I weigh, he's going to write down the weight. He's going to put the number. So this is the first, and let's go. Let's get along. This is at 819 grams. 819 grams. Number one, 819 grams. I'm sure you have seen the reason why I decided to use this bucket. If I was not using this bucket, this bird should have should have escaped. 819. Oh my god. I'm going to get the second person. 812. Difficult. Yeah, I have with me 930 grams, 810 grams, 750 grams. Okay, I have 930, 850, 846, 851, 797, 903, 780, 860, 903, 854, 707, 938, and 840. So that is that, and we have weight of 32 birds. Most of them range, the range for most of them is within 800. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sum all of this weight from this 819, 812, 930, 810, 750. I'll sum all of them and I'll divide that by 32, and whatever I have is the average weight for my birds here on the farm. And when I'll compare that with the rearing sheet I downloaded from the Issa Brown website, I'm going to know, of course, I already know my birds are doing well, and it's a kudos for me. So this is farm life. I'm happy I've watched the video up to this point, and if you have not weighed your birds, go and weigh them. If you have not been weighing your birds, learn this practice of weighing your birds so that you can monitor growth, you can make sure that they are not sick, you can be able to know that they are feeding well.
So here is the rearing sheet given to me by my supplier, downloaded from my supplier's website, it's a Brown website, and there you see the average weight for my birds that is expected for my birds to have at week 10. And if you compare that with my average weight, you will see that my birds are doing just okay.
So that is that, and if you are new to the channel, kindly hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you get notified when next we drop a video. And from here we say bye bye.